morning. Hope each and every one of you is doing good and safe at home. So, we are going to continue something that we have seen in our last class, right? What did we see in our last class? Yes, good. We have seen speech, that is direct and indirect speech. Direct and indirect speech, and the sentences, how to change from direct to indirect and from indirect to direct, right? So, you must have learned all the rules and regulations that we should follow while changing from direct to indirect and from indirect to direct, and the keywords and the connecting words, everything, right? So, we have seen only one sentence in our last class, that is declarative sentence. So, we have four sentences that are declarative, that is assertive, statement sentence, okay? Declarative or assertive or statement, and the next one is interrogative, and the next one is imperative, and the last one is exclamatory. So we have seen completely about the declarative sentences in our last class. In our today's class, we are going to see the remaining, that are interrogative, imperative and exclamatory. Okay, shall we get into the class, children? Okay, so before entering into the class, let's see interrogative sentences. What are interrogative sentences? So, interrogative sentences are question sentences. When you frame questions using WH word, which means why, where, what, and so on, whose, whom, all those words are called WH. How, all those words are called WH words, right? So, when you frame sentence, when you frame a question using WH words, and the next one is yes or no questions. So, yes or no questions. How do we frame yes or no questions? We used to start with either do or does or will, may, shall. So, all those words are called yes or no. For example, for yes or no question, let's say an example. If I ask you, do you have a pen? How will you answer me? You have to answer me, yes, I have a pen, or no, I don't have a pen. That is called yes or no questions. So, interrogative sentences, that are WH question framing sentences, are yes or no sentences. Okay, so that are called interrogative sentences. Now, let's see few examples. How do we change the direct sentences from interrogative sentences to indirect sentences? Let's see the first example. Naveen said to his friend, why are you late today? What's the question here? Naveen said to his friend, why are you late today? So, Naveen is asking his friend. What is he doing? Naveen is asking his friend, why are you late today? If suppose I say the sentence, that is direct sentence. If someone comes and say you that I said this, that is indirect sentence. Right now we are going to change this sentence into indirect sentence. So, see this first sentence. Before this, comma. Naveen said to his friend. What's given? Naveen said to his friend. Now we should change this said to. Right? So, this said to will be changed to asked. Said to will be changed to asked. In declarative sentences, we wrote told. Said to is changed to told. Here, Naveen said to will be changed to asked. So, Naveen asked, said to asked his friend. Naveen asked his friend. Now this first sentence is over. Naveen said to his friend changed to Naveen asked his friend. Now we are going to see the second sentence. Okay. So we are removing this comma when it comes to indirect speech. And we remove the quotation marks. We remove the quotation marks that is given in the question. And if it started with WH questions, you can write the same WH question here. Okay. So once you finish this, Naveen asked his friend, why? Why is given here. So we are writing the same here. Why? And this R would go after this U. Okay. This R would go after this U. So now you would be changed to he, because you refers to Naveen's friend. Naveen's friend must have been a boy, right? Naveen is talking to his friend, so he must be a boy. So we are writing why he was. So the pronoun for his friend is he. Why he are. Now we need to change this R. R is was. Present tense is changed into past tense. Okay, so why are you changed to why he was and late. It's written as the same. Today is changed to that day. Okay, why he was late that day. Naveen asked his friend why he was late that day. Hope you understood this, children. Let's see one more example which starts from yes or no questions. Okay, so here David said to his father. What's given the first sentence? Who is saying to whom? David is saying to his father. David said to his father, can you buy me a computer? What's he asking? He's asking his father for a computer. So he's asking his father to buy him a computer. Can you buy me a computer? So his father's reply must have been yes, I can buy, or no, I can't buy. Yes, I can buy, or no, I can't buy. So this is yes or no questions. So here, when you wrote WH question, we are writing the same WH as it is in the indirect speech also. But here, David said to his father. David is asking his father. So, said to is changed into asked. Okay? Said to is changed into asked. David asked his father. Next sentence. See, we are removing this comma and this quotation mark. Now we need to change this sentence. Can you buy me a computer? How would you change it? So when you are writing yes or no sentences, you should start either with if or with whether. Okay? We must use either if or whether. I have used if here for this sentence. Okay? So David asked his father. We are removing this comma and the quotation marks. Now we need to change this sentence. Can you buy me a computer? Now when you are writing, start with if or whether. Now we are using if. If, after this if, what should you use? So this can goes after this you. Okay? So now we need to change this. This can goes after this you only. Now we need to change this. You. Who's this you? His father. His father. So if he, can is changed to could. Can is changed to could. If he could buy me. This me refers to David. He is a boy. So we are writing him. David could. So we are writing him. If he could buy him a computer. That's all. We don't use question marks here because we have changed it as a sentence. So David said to his father, can you buy me a computer? So when we change it, David asked his father if he could buy him a computer. Did you all understand, children? So while writing WH question, we are writing this in. We are starting the same WH question here. But here we add if and this word. The question word goes after the subject. So if he could buy him a computer. Okay? So I hope you are clear with interrogative sentences. So now let's see imperative sentences. How would we change direct sentences of imperative into indirect sentences of imperative? Before entering into imperative sentences, let's be clear. What is an imperative sentence? Yes. When we say something like ordering or requesting or suggesting, so all those sentences are called imperative sentences. There is a differentiation between passing information or asking question or ordering or requesting or suggesting something, right? So those sentences that are called like ordering, suggesting or requesting something to someone will be imperative sentences. Now we will see different types of sentences that we have in imperative sentences. Okay, we have like positive sentence, negative sentence and so on. So we will see first positive sentence. How would we change a positive sentence of imperative into indirect speech? See the example. Teacher said to the students, finish the work and submit it. What's given? teacher said to the students, finish the work and submit it. Teacher is informing the students, right? So this said to will be either ordered or requested or like informed. Okay, all those things will be given used for this said to here. So the teacher is informing the students. Okay, the teacher is informing the students. So what we are using here, instead of this said to is changed into inform. Okay, so teacher inform the students. We have completed the first sentence. Now we remove this comma and we remove this quotation mark. What's the next sentence? Finish the work and submit it. Finish the work and submit it. How would you change it? So when remember it, when you are changing an imperative sentence from direct to indirect, after this first sentence you should use to. Okay. If it is positive sentence, you should use to. So teacher inform the students. We add to. What's given here? Finish the work and submit it. So finish the work and submit it tomorrow. Sorry, children. It will be tomorrow here. Okay, submit it tomorrow. So if I have given tomorrow, you should change it into the next day. If I haven't given anything, you can just leave it off. Now it's just something submit it. So we are writing submit it. If tomorrow is given, you should change it into the next day. So teacher inform the students to finish the work and submit it. And today means that day, the next day, tomorrow means the next day. Okay. So this is positive sentence in imperative sentences. And next we are coming to negative sentence. Next we are coming to negative sentence. So positive sentence, after the first sentence, between these two sentences, we are adding to. What are we adding? We are adding to. What do we use in negative sentence? Let's see. Negative sentence, mother said to her son, don't tear the papers from the book. What's the statement given? Don't tear the papers from the book. So this don't. You should not do it, right? So do plus not. That is called negative sentence. So what are we going to do now? Mother is advising her son. Mother is advising her son not to tear papers from the book. So this said to is changed to advised here. Okay, since it is a statement of advice, we are using advised here. Mother said to is changed to advise her son. To whom is she saying? She is saying to her son. So mother advised her son, and here we use to. Here we are using not to. Since it is a negative sentence, in positive sentence you can use to, and in negative sentence you have to use not to. Understood? So instead of this don't, we are using not to. So not to tear the papers from the book. Mother said to her son, don't tear the papers from the book. And the answer is, mother advised her son not to tear papers from the book. If it is positive sentence, we add to in between these two sentences. If it is a negative sentences, between these two sentences, we are adding not to. Okay, children. The next one is requesting sentences. So far we have seen positive sentence and negative sentence, and now we are going to see requesting sentence. So requesting something to someone, right? So let's see an example here. Arnav said to Anish, please give me your pen. When you are asking something to someone, please give me your pen. So the way of requesting, the way of asking, that is called requesting, right? So Arnav said to Anish, please give me your pen. How do you change it into indirect? So instead of this said to, what do we have to use? Since it is a requesting sentence, we will have to use requested. So Arnav said to is changed into requested. Arnav requested Anish, and the comma is removed, and the quotation mark is removed. The next sentence is, please give me your pen. So we are taking out, we have mentioned requested here. So we are taking out please from this sentence. So after taking please, we need to add to. Arnav the words here. Okay, that's all. Arnav said to Anish, please give me a pen. Change it to Arnav requested Anish to give him his pen. So we have completed imperative sentences. Now we are entering into the last one, that is exclamatory sentence. So exclamatory sentences, what are they? When you are exclaiming joy, exclaiming sadness. So when you are overjoyed or when you are over depressed, when you are in a sad mode, the tone changes, right? The sentences will be the same, but the tone changes. That is called exclamatory sentences. Exclaiming something. So the words that we use most often for the exclamatory sentences are hooray, alas. When in a sad mode, when you are feeling pity for something or someone, you use the word alas. So hooray, alas. So all these etc. All these words are the words that we use for exclamatory sentences. So let's see an example. He said to me, it's a great idea. So when you say it as an information, it's a great idea, right? When you say it as a declarative sentence, so as the information when you pass it, yeah, it's a great idea. But when you exclaim it overjoyed, wow, it's a very great idea. Wow, what a very great idea. The tone changes, right? That is called exclamatory sentence here. Here, he said to me. So we are seeing exclamatory. So the word that we use is exclaimed. What do we use here? Exclaimed. He said to me. He exclaimed. You can add in joy. He exclaimed in joy. Okay. He exclaimed in happiness. So we are adding just exclaimed for reference now. So he said to me changed into he exclaimed that. And for using when you are changing exclamatory sentence from direct to indirect, you don't have to use the person to whom you are saying or showing. Okay. So he exclaimed, that is enough. This to me is not necessary. To me or to whomsoever it is not necessary. He exclaimed that. What is the next sentence? After removing comma and quotation mark. It's a great idea. So what do we use here? It and this is changed to was. He exclaimed that it was a great idea. Okay, that's all. He exclaimed that it was a great idea. Okay, children. So we have completed exclamatory sentences also. So far we are seeing interrogative sentences, imperative sentences, and exclamatory sentences. That is from direct to indirect. Changing from direct to indirect. Now we are going to see changing sentences from indirect to direct. How do we change these answers to the question? Right, we have given you a question, right? We have changed from the question to answer. Now we are going to see from answer to the question, which means indirect to direct. We'll see a few examples for interrogative, imperative and exclamatory so that you get more clear idea that how would you change the sentences from the question to answer and from the answer to a question. See the first one from the beginning that we are seeing interrogative sentences, right? Interrogative, the sentence is Vidya asked Devi where she had kept her book. Now recall what I have taught you earlier. Vidya asked Devi. This asked has come from said to. So what do you write instead of asked here? Vidya asked will be changed to said to. Vidya said to Devi. What do we have to add now? Yes, we need to add comma. First we need to add comma and then we need to open the quotation mark. What did I say earlier? For WH question, from the question to the answer, the same WH question will be followed, right? So from the quotation starts, we are writing. What is the WH word here? Where, right? So we are writing the same where here. Vidya said to Devi, where? Now, what are we saying? She had kept her book. The sentence is given in past perfect. What must be the question then? Yes, it must have been in past, simple past, right? So, where, after where, this B1 form of kept is keep. So where did you keep her book? Her book. Vidya is asking Devi. So Vidya's book. So my book. She is asking Devi. Okay. So she is asking. Her book means Vidya is asking Vidya's book. My book. So Vidya asked is changed into said. Said to Devi, where did you keep my book? This action verb, B3 form of action verb is changed into B1 form of action verb. Vidya said to Devi, comma, open the quotation, write the same WH question, where did you keep my book? Close the quotation, put question mark. WH question must carry a question mark. Question sentences must carry a question mark. So this is what it interrogative sentences. And the next one is imperative sentences. See here, Shyam's father advised his children not to waste their time on unnecessary activities. What's the question here? Shyam's father advised his children. Maybe both the kids are 3 of them or 4 of them, whatever. His children not to waste their time. Since it is plural, children is plural, not to waste their time on unnecessary activities. How do we change it now? Write the same. Shyam's father, we are written. Advised. So this advised must have been said to, right? So this said to is changed into advised in imperative sentence. So Shyam's father said to whom? Said to his children. Said to his children. That's all. First sentence over. Now we are adding comma and opening the quotation. Now remember the rule that I said to you. What was the rule? Not to was given here. Where do we use not to? For negative sentences. Negative sentences starts with don't. Right? So this not to is changed into don't. This not to is changed into don't. So write the same. Don't waste their time. Don't waste their time. Which means don't waste your time. Don't waste your time on unnecessary activities. Got it, children? So Shyam's father advised his children not to waste time on unnecessary activities. The answer is Shyam's father said to his children, and this not to is changed into don't. The to it comes inside quotation mark. Don't waste your time on unnecessary activities. And close the quotation, put question mark, because it's like a negative statement sentence. Don't do it. Ordering sentence. Or else advising sentence. So it's not a WH question. So we are not adding a question mark here. Okay, so we have completed imperative also from indirect to direct. Now we are moving to exclamatory sentence. How do we change an indirect exclamatory sentence into direct exclamatory sentence? See here, the example is, he exclaimed in joy that it was a beautiful rose. He exclaimed in joy that it was a beautiful rose. Right? So here, exclaimed in joy. I already said you, I have mentioned only exclaimed here. You can write, if it is the happy mode, you can write exclaimed in joy too. Just to express how happy you are, how much happy. I am overjoyed. I am over happy. So the way of just expressing your happiness. So he exclaimed in joy, which means that he is over happy. So he said to me. Okay. He is not saying to anyone else, he is saying to me. He exclaimed in joy is changed into said to me. I told you that to me will not be referred here when you are writing exclamatory sentence. So he said to me, and write comma and open the quotes. Write comma and open the quotes. So now we have it was a beautiful rose. So after this connecting word, we are taking out this connecting word. We are taking out this connecting word. It was a beautiful rose. So how do we exclaim it? How do we say it with an exclamation? What a beautiful rose it is. Right? What a beautiful rose it is. So this it was changed into it is. It was changed into it is. That too after the beautiful rose. Okay, that's all. There is nothing you have to do in it. Okay, children. So we have completed exclamatory sentences also. So when you are adding, when you are changing from direct to indirect, you use the connecting word that here between these two sentences. And when you are changing from indirect to direct, you are taking out this that from here and opening quotes and closing the quotes and giving an exclamatory mark. Okay, children. So we have seen every type of sentences that are declarative, interrogative, imperative and exclamatory sentences, changing from direct to indirect and also from indirect to direct. I hope you are clear with all the 4 types of sentences and will be sending you the worksheet in group. Okay. So your home assignment is complete the given worksheet. So complete the given worksheet by having the instructions that we have given you in these 2 classes. Okay children, we'll meet you in the next class. Thank you all. Have a nice day.